I'll call this meeting to order. It's Tuesday, June 25th, 2024, and we're here to do a monthly department meeting. And I'll just go around the room. If you guys would state your name and the department you're from for the audience. We'll, do you want to do it?
Lori Osterberg, no department.
Okay. All right. Colleen?
Colleen Rawson, grants.
Okay.
I think that's a department.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start with you.
Okay. Nothing terribly exciting. It's just been a lot of, wrangling what we've already received in the grants and getting those set up. With the ILED, we're now at 6 months into having clients within the program. We've had some great successes. So there's conversations about how we're going to expand the services in a different way and be able to use Gen more appropriately or more effectively in keeping people out of the justice system. So that's the next steps. But we've got some good data on how the counseling is helping with the clients that are currently in there, and we had opened it up to misdemeanor, and so a lot of the court-ordered, drug and alcohol cases were court-ordered for specific counseling services that Gen can offer. And some of those they weren't offered unless you were going at least to Coeur d'Alene, if not farther. There's some of the courses. And so we've been able to address those here locally and within immediate time. So Jen's got 4 classes running right now, different types of counseling peer groups running, and then still doing the one-on-one. And so there's been, Mike and Christy have talked about the successes that they've had with their probation cases, and then the specific ILED ones have been going fairly well as well. And so we're just continuing to move forward with that. And
Okay.
that's been great. Otherwise, it's just, reports and processes and regulations.
Okay. All right. Rose?
I'm Jessica Studsky, Public Works. Pretty much the main thing that's been going on in our department is the Moon Pass rock slide and the cleanup efforts and the attempt to grab some funding for reimbursement on that. Just to update where we are with the slide, we anticipate, if all goes well, we will be moving some of our larger equipment out this Friday, and we'll be able to open the pass to public for no restrictions as of 5 o'clock on Friday. So I'm going to wait until Friday to do any type of press release to make sure we don't have anything get in the way, but we're pleased to be able to have it open for the 4th of July week that's coming up next week. We figure there's going to be some heavy recreation. As far as where we're at with that, we've received some very good news on all fronts. We qualified for LTAC's ERL RIP, which was $100,000. We kind of put that on hold with some other irons in the fire with FEMA. It has been accepted as being a FEMA eligible project, so there will be a portion of that we will be reimbursed through FEMA and state of Idaho, so we should have a 10% match on a portion of the project. The next portion of the project is the portion we're currently in, which is the crushing and the spreading of the material. Federal Highways has accepted us into their program, their ER program, and everything that's reimbursed through that portion, that leg of the endeavor, is going to be reimbursed at 100%. So
Okay.
we look to see significant costs, being reimbursed back to us. Potential for some extended work up there through some emergency temporary repairs. If we go that far, we hope to know in the next couple weeks where that will land. There might be some additional work up there, but as of this week, we are pulling our resources off because the pass will be open. We've got to get them back. We're several months behind on some of our regular maintenance duties that we need to be doing, and so we're going to be playing a lot of catch up. We've had to already decide to defer a couple of our projects into next year because it's really hard to make up 2 months of a project season, and so we'll see where that lands. But as of July 9th, we should have everybody back in their respective districts. So we should see maintenance efforts returning back to normal. We're behind on some of our brushing. We're behind on some of our patching. Mowing has been slow, and so that's kind of what our operations will look like. Right now, we've been having 3 employees that are not on Moon Pass that cover all of the rest of Shoshone County for any emergencies that come up. So we're ready to get back to everybody back in their districts.
Are you still short-staffed?
We are still short-staffed. We had one of our employees out on a medical leave that was extended. He is returned as of today, so that'll be good. And we are going to repost for an opening in the Smelterville district, and then I think we're going to refresh the postings for the 2 openings in the Marble Creek district. So currently now, instead of being down 5, we're down 4, and we'll see how that shakes out. Another employee was out on medical leave. We hope to return in the next week or 2. So we're slowly going to be getting our manpower back on that. As far as other things, we've really just been all consumed with the slide, but we do have a flap safety grant that is in construction now, and it's from some safety improvements from Kingston to Murray, and they've started some guardrail work. They did a short section of rumble strips on the center line on Pritchard Creek Road, where they've had some fatalities on kind of an S corner there. So they'll be doing the guardrail. They'll be doing striping next month, 29 miles of striping, center line and fogs. That's huge for us, and this is a no match funding. So dozens and dozens of signs being replaced, and that's something that is so costly to us. So we are going to, we asked the contractor if we could get the signs from them. A lot of the signs are still usable, just not, up to the brand new standards. And so some of the signs that are going to be coming off that road are better than some of our existing signs. So we would like to have a chance to peek through them before they're disposed of.
Okay.
So that should wrap up sometime around September, and traffic delays should be minimal. They are going to have flaggers when they're working on the guardrail. Some of it will be down to 1 lane, but other than that, traffic should be kept flowing because this is the high, recreation season. Parks, haven't really done much of an update on parks. We are in the middle of our park season, so West Shoshone Park and Jean Day Park are open for business, and we've seen a good amount of reservations in there, lots of different functions, so it's nice to see the community get out and use the parks. This year we've seen a spike in larger community events, so we're excited to see that. It's a great, both are great locations for large community events, and it's a great opportunity to get people into the park who maybe have never used that particular park before. So Jean Day seems to be the one that's seen the majority of those events go in. So we're excited about that. We're a little understaffed at the West Shoshone Park, so we're working through that and doing the best we can, but we are still continuing to be open, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and taking full reservations for that park.
Okay.
Jean Day Park, we've been dealing with some issues. There are 3 kitchens there. Over the last several years, we've had some intermittent problems with the power supply to the east kitchen, and there was a break in the conduit, and so there currently is no power to the east kitchen. So what we've done is just let everybody with reservations know. We've given them an opportunity to move or change the date of the event, just so they're aware. We don't want them to show up and there not be power. That'll be something that's going to be a major fix that I will most likely need to work with the board at a later date when we can wrap our head around exactly what needs to go into that. But just to let you guys know a little bit on where we're at with parks.
Okay.
Other than that, not a lot going on besides other projects. We do have the bridge at the mouth of Moon Gulch along Silver Valley Road that is under construction right now. Hope to have, it will be finished for this winter, but I think they're going to be a few weeks behind. So, but that will be done this year. We will see the paving project come to fruition, hopefully mid-August from Big Creek. It'll come just shy of Elizabeth Park, but we're going to get quite a bit of fresh pavement done through the Idaho Strategic Initiatives, which is also a no-match grant for us.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. You got any other questions?
No.
Oh, okay.
Dan Martinson, Administrator and Emergency Manager. We've got a whole slew of things we're working on. May was a really busy month for permits for us. We did 21 building permits. Trish did most of them, of course. We've done only 9 in June, but that's typical for June. We'll get real busy in May, and then it tapers off in June, and then we get heavy again in July. Kind of goes in cycles. That was actually sort of a blessing because we picked up a couple of new code violations, active code violations in the last couple of weeks. So that puts us at about 5 or 6 we're progressively working on. In the meantime, we've got a couple of subdivisions that are almost finishing up and a couple more in the works. We finally made some headway on vacations of right-of-way. We've got 3 applications that are ready to move forward for the hearing process, and so that will start taking up more of our time. We've done a whole bunch of floodplain development permits and site disturbance permits in the last couple months. Everybody, a lot of people out there prepping pad sites and prepping their properties. And there's been a few subdivisions that took place last summer, and now they're cutting in driveways and pads and stuff. We're working on fee schedule amendments to both the building code and our P&Z code to amend many of our fees that are outdated, or that they did a new fee schedule back in December of 21. We've gone through them and brought some of those up, so that will be coming forward as a resolution for fee changes. That will help us get some more fees for the work we do. We've been working on the FEMA buyout properties and figuring out how we can best use those FEMA buyout properties, along with, as we were discussing, recreation lots, and the idea of coming up with a zone classification or some sort of a designation as recreation lots to further either, for lack of a better word, regulate their use and or come up with solutions for the potential for mitigation of garbage and some of the issues we're having with recreation properties. That's about the extent of P&Z. Emergency management, in the last month or so in particular, they kind of all fell together, but we finished up 3 different SHSP projects, which are the Homeland Security projects. So Osborne PD was able to get 2 new radios for their rigs, both their rigs. Mullen Fire Department, we did a project for them for 11 handheld portable radios. Those just came in. Fire District 1, the new chief's truck that they got outfitted with the new radio system for it. And I put together a contractor bid for the consultant to come in and help us update and revise and amend our emergency operations plan. It's a couple years old. We finished it in late 20. And so we want to get that updated, especially with the new changes to the ambulance service district, whereas the previous EOP was written when we had a private corporation. So we want to make those amendments. I've been working with Bill McLeod on the Community Wildfire Protection Plan, which is our general how we interact with the Forest Service and then the state on local fires versus forest fires. That plan is almost done. There's a couple of tweaks to be done on it, and then that will be being brought forward to you for official sign off. And that's his plan, particularly to make them eligible for a few different grants, and as well as part of our all hazards plan. So it's good to, and that's been a couple of years since we updated it as well. We recently talked with Forest Service. There's a USDA grant coming out, or could be coming in. Opening will be in late July. It's a community wildfire damage grant. Yeah, if I can get my acronym right. Essentially, it's a whole bunch of federal money through USDA for basically fire mitigation projects, and it coincides with a big push from the Forest Service. In particular, there's a big push for the I-90 corridor. And so it'll complement the wildland urban interface, our area from the cities up into the hillsides. And that should be a fairly substantial potential for project. And so we'll be working on putting that together and seeing about applying for that. There's been some really good successes with it. This is the 3rd year that grant's been available. And in all honesty, it's not been applied for as much as you would think. And so we're hoping that means there's money available.
Good.
So anyway, that's going to be a pretty neat project to work on, because it could very well be a substantial amount of money that would go out and help us basically pay for Bill to do his job as fire mitigation. So I'm working on a handful of other things. We're planning committees putting together a tabletop exercise / a drill for our mass casualty unit trailer. The fire departments have been going through that trailer the past couple of months, taking inventory, figuring out what they can use and can't use, have much outdated medical equipment in it. So that's been done. And then our next task is to then basically just do a short tabletop exercise where we kind of describe how we would use that trailer and when we would use that trailer. And then actually go open it up and let the firemen and law enforcement and folks figure out what's in that trailer and how to use it. And if we were to pull it onto a scene, who would be the techniques for who would be responsible for the things that are in it, and how to set up the tents and how to use the generator and use the different medical stuff that's on that trailer. So that'll be coming up in probably September, maybe even October. I'm trying to use that with weather and hunting season. It's always difficult to get the firefighters to work like that. When are they not busy? December's kind of a hard time to do those kinds of outdoor type things. But anyway, that's the extent of what I'm doing.
Okay.
Trisha's sitting around doing nothing.
Any questions?
Just totally kidding.
With your
Absolutely is doing
mass
everything
casualty
down there.
training, I mean,
Yeah.
you have the team, because there's so much organization when meetings I've gone to that needs to start from.
Oh, yeah.
All
So through our
areas.
LEPC, the Local Emergency Planning Committee, that group of all those stakeholders, the hospital, law enforcement, fire, all those, and all the sewer water districts and all those different players. That's part of what we discuss monthly in that meeting. And then through that is that planning committee, and then when we schedule it, it's get all those people in the room, propose a scenario, and then it gives everybody the opportunity to go, what would you do? You know, in this scenario, and then what plans do you have, or what do you know, and then we're looking for, where do we have a gap? Where do we have a training gap? Where do we have a plan that's not fully describing what's going on? So, I'm more excited about getting the trailer open and
Yeah.
just setting up a tent and
Yeah.
versus parking that trailer in the building and nobody ever sees it and knows what it is even for.
Yeah, you probably would need to be familiar with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, we need this now, and you can't find it.
Luckily, we've never needed to use it. The tent is we will never use it. But my job is to be prepared.
That's right. Well, thank you.
Do you have anything else for you?
I don't think so.
You don't have anything further?
We are we're busy, but
I think we all are.
yeah.
Do you have anything further, Commissioner Cassidy?
No, I don't.
I don't either. Anybody else?
I don't think so.
Our clerk?
No.
Okay. Well,
Good.
meeting's adjourned. Well, thank you, guys.